Okay, so the Lachlan Galvin saga has taken another twist. He was released earlier in the week with immediate effect from the West Tigers. Multiple clubs were linked with his signature. The Bulldogs were favourites, and then Gus Gould comes out and says, no, we're not signing him. Then Parramatta become the favourites because obviously Dylan Brown is on the way out as of the end of the season. And it would be interesting to see him with Mitchell Moses. Plus, they share the same agent, Isaac Moses. And then suddenly he's been announced as a Bulldogs player. Now, Gus Gould's come out and said he is now a Bulldogs player. It's going to be very, very interesting how they fit him into a winning side at the moment because you've got Sexton and Burton in the halves who've struck up a really good partnership this season and last season as well. And they're top of the ladder. And it's going to be interesting how they fit Galvin into that spine. Where they play him. Does this mean Burton's going to shift out into the centres where he played a lot of his time at Penrith? And does this also mean that Sexton's probably on his way out from the Bulldogs? Will Sexton have to make way for Galvin to come in, considering Sexton's been a big part of why the Bulldogs have been playing so well this season? Or will they use Galvin off the bench as a utility? Will he spend some time in reserve grade? Who knows? What is very interesting is the West Tigers stated as soon as Galvin and his agent Isaac Moses had come out and said he's not going to stay past the end of his contract, Shane Richardson, the Tigers CEO, said we're not going to release him early. So it's been a very quick backflip by the Tigers organisation. It clearly has caused disruption in the Tigers dressing room because their form has tapered off a bit since he announced he was leaving the club. The relationship between him and his teammates has clearly gone south, and it has caused divisions in that dressing room. And Benji Marshall has obviously had to make a tough choice with discussions with the Tigers board to say, let's get rid of him now rather than later because our season is fast unravelling, which it is. Their form has tailed off since that announcement. I also find it interesting that the Bulldogs have picked him up, considering that it could disrupt a winning team. Now, yes, they are coming off the back of a loss this weekend. They did lose against the Dolphins, but their form this season has been outstanding. They've only lost a couple of games. They're top of the ladder. And it could disrupt the flow of the side right now with Sexton and Burton in the halves. Do you want to disrupt a winning combination? Now, Cameron Ciraldo could definitely get the best out of Lachlan Galvin. There's no doubt on his talent and ability, but will he fit in with his new teammates? That's another question. Will he fit in with the Bulldog system? And will he be a starting half as soon as their next game? There's a lot of question marks here. One thing we can take out of this whole saga is everything's been managed very poorly by both the Tigers, Lachlan Galvin's side of things, and of course the question marks over Isaac Moses as his agent, considering Isaac Moses has been deregistered as an agent before, considering some of his dealings. And a common theme is certain clubs don't want to deal with Isaac Moses as an agent. Now, Gus Gould is a tough negotiator. We don't know what kind of deal as of yet will pan out and how regularly he'll appear in the Bulldogs side. But it's interesting the Bulldogs have swooped, considering they said as soon as he was released, we're not interested. They've played a good hand. They picked up a decent player, but the question mark is his attitude, his commitment, and will he fit into the salary cap and into their side easily? This is a mid-season switch. It is before the deadline, but then questions do have to be asked of Isaac Moses and his involvement, and do we need more regulation on player agents and more transparency on player agents? We know the Roosters, for example, don't deal with Isaac Moses. Nick Politis refuses, as the backer of the Roosters and the Roosters board, refuse to deal with Isaac Moses and any of his clients. So they have potentially missed out on players in the past because Isaac Moses is their agent. Now, other clubs are looking at this whole saga and they're looking at their players, and could we see more Lachlan Galvin kind of sagas and situations occur? Quite possibly, yes. Does the NRL need to look at this area? Does the RLPA need to look at this area? Yes, I think they do. Could you argue there's some conflict of interest in there? Yes. But the saga has come to an end for now. Now let's see how Lachlan Galvin fits into a better side than what the Tigers are. Now, the Tigers are massively improved than where they were when Benji Marshall took over. There's no doubt on that. But the Bulldogs are a much better side, not only on paper, but also on form. They are top of the ladder for a reason. How does he fit into a winning team? How does he fit into that team? And will this cause problems for the Bulldogs going forward? Place your thoughts in the comments section below. But Lachlan Galvin is now a Bulldogs player. And how will it go? So thank you very much from me. I'll have some more content for you all very, very soon. And it is goodbye for now.